The dropper post has to be one of my favorite inventions on the mountain bike, but it's also the most annoying if it doesn't work or if you break a lever like I have. But don't worry, I've got a few hacks and trailside maintenance tips for you to keep you riding, so don't go anywhere. Sadly, I've managed to crash my bike and completely break the lever here, which means my dropper post is now stuck in a down position, which is great for getting to the bottom of a descent, but if I need to climb back up, the problem is you can still pull on the cable to actuate the dropper, but it won't stay up. There's no longer enough tension to keep that up, so I won't be able to sit on it and ride up. However, you can kind of bodge it a little bit to keep the post up. So if you actuate the dropper, then you do have a barrel adjuster here, which if you wind anti-clockwise, it will put tension on the cable. Now try and jam the lever into place to create tension on that cable. Then it should create enough tension. There we go. So I can now sit on it and ride away. Now, the great thing about jamming your lever into place to keep it up, like I mentioned earlier, is that you can undo your work and still be able to get your post down for a descent. However, if you're going for a ride home and you want it to be completely in place, locked upwards, then you're going to need your trusty zip tie. So get it as jammed in as possible. Perhaps pull the barrel adjuster out, and then what you want to do is get your cable tie to keep that adjuster, the barrel adjuster, out of the main body of the lever, and then fit your lever into place as best possible, and then you'll be using your cable tie to fix that all together. It's actually surprisingly common how often I see inner cables for dropper posts broken on the trails. And if you're out doing a long distance ride, you're in the middle of nowhere, this could make the worst ride of your life if your dropper post doesn't work properly. So I always carry a spare inner cable or shifter cable in my bag, as well as a multi-tool. And if you've got the room, then a pair of pliers with some cable cutters will really help as well. It could save your ride, although I will show you a hack on how to finish up your cable at the end if you don't have a set of cable cutters. So now you've got all the tools for the job and you've moved your outer cable out of the seat tube here so that you can refit it. And it's just a case of replacing that inner cable. Now, this is why it's really important to practice with yours at home so that you're nice and comfortable with it if you have to do it out on a trail, because different posts operate in different ways. Mine has its own little ferrule that attaches to the cable. Sometimes dropper posts use the end of a gear cable to sit into the dropper post, and sometimes that end goes at your lever end. So you really do need to check what yours does and make sure you can change it before you go on a nice long ride. Now, I promised you a cable tidy hack. If you've changed a cable on the trail and you don't have a set of wire cutters or cable cutters, then you just want to tidy this out the way so that it doesn't flap around or scratch anything or catch on anything. Now, obviously you can loop this around multiple times to get it out of the way and twist it in on itself, but it tends to unravel over time. So what I found is if you make those multiple loops over your cables, say your brakes or your lever cables here, multiple times, so wrap it around your fingers and then get the cable and tie it around on itself, in and out through the loops. Then that will secure it in place and the cables will actually stop it from unraveling like a slinky on your bike, and you should be good to go. If your dropper post is becoming difficult to operate, maybe you're pressing the lever and it's really slow like this, or if it's really hard to get it down and it's just not working properly, it's possible that there's not enough tension on the inner cable to operate the dropper. So it's almost like you're not pressing the lever enough. Now we can adjust this tension. So what I need to do is get that barrel adjuster turned all the way clockwise. So the barrel adjuster is in and it's in its least tension position. And then what I can do is undo this bolt at the lever and pull some of that cable through to give it a little bit more tension. And that should hopefully fix that. And if I need any extra tension, then I can use the barrel adjuster again to wind it anti-clockwise. So if your dropper post is a bit sticky and a bit slow and you don't think it's a cable or a lever issue, then it could just be a bit dry or it could just be a bit dirty. Now, if you've got a car nearby and you have your tools in it, perhaps you're at Trail Centre, then you could get a quick fix on this by using some silicone spray on the shaft or maybe even a chain lube around the shaft, and then just operate your lever, your dropper post to go in and back out, and that should try and draw out some of the dirt that's underneath the collar, and it may even put some lubricant back into it to get it running a bit smoother. So what you need to do is when you get back home is give that dropper a nice good clean and a re-grease. So what you'll need to do is unscrew that collar, get some isopropyl alcohol in there and give it a good clean, and you'll be replacing it with suspension grease, not normal assembly grease, because that can be too thick and it'll make your dropper run slowly. So suspension grease is a little thinner, more viscous, and that will keep it running faster and smoother. So hopefully these tips will have helped you, but if you've adjusted any cable tension, perhaps you've put a new cable in and you've done all of these tips, but your dropper post just isn't quite working right, then it's probably time for a service. It may even have lost some air pressure, maybe a piston has gone, and it's time to go and speak to a professional to get it fully serviced. And hopefully that will sort it out for you in the future. But if I've missed any dropper post hacks that you've used in the past, then do let me know down in the comments below and help out the GMBN community in the future. Thanks for watching.